Hello everyone, White Mage Serenia here. I am making a video response to a YouTuber named Wolfos on his rant about Final Fantasy. Uh, I just wanted to say that I do agree with what you were saying about recent Final Fantasies. I'm a big fan myself. I have every single one of them except for the original 1 and 2 on the NES. I don't have a DS for Final Fantasy 3, nor do I have Final Fantasy Origins, but I have a good majority of them. Now, like I said, I do agree with you about Final Fantasy X in that it just doesn't have the same charm as say Final Fantasy VII, or even further than that, Final Fantasy VI, which happens to be my all-time favorite one. Final Fantasy X too, I don't really consider a true Final Fantasy. As a Final Fantasy, it's total garbage because the story is just total crap, and it's essentially a game for horny Japanese teenagers in that regard. But as a game standalone to itself, it's pretty good if you overlook all the bad stuff. The battle system's a definite improvement over what we had in Final Fantasy X too. It's just a lot faster, just more well toned in that regard. And I just really like being able to change jobs in the midst of battle like that. I enjoyed that system. Now, as far as Final Fantasy XI goes, it probably has the most tradition out of all of them. It's more or less in a league of its own because it has a tremendously awesome story. It has the job class. It's even got a throwback to Final Fantasy I in its original 6 job classes, which are White Mage, Black Mage, Monk, Red Mage, Warrior, and Thief, and then you unlock more as you go along. Granted, being an MMORPG, it does have a bit of a time sink, which a lot of people don't really like. However, it's got everything you could ask for from a Final Fantasy if you can overlook, the $12.95 a month subscription fee and the overall time it takes to play it, because you have 20 plus jobs now. Well, no, 20 jobs on the dot now to choose from as you unlock more jobs to play with. You also have, like I said, an extremely in-depth story that you do through completing in-game missions and quests that unfolds. You also have your chocobos. You also have just technically the ATB is still there in the battle system due to the delay of your weapons and things like that. The auto attack feature is only there to sort of let you chat with your party as you attack to make things a little smoother there. And then I just really enjoy it and think 11's in a league of its own. Now, as far as Final Fantasy 12 goes, story-wise, no, it falls victim to like 10 did. The story wasn't all that great. But for me, being a Final Fantasy XI player, I did enjoy the battle system and different things like that. The side quests I enjoyed, but it could have been better. One reason I find that people don't like Final Fantasy XII, though, is the story seems a bit like a ripoff of Star Wars because, you start off in a desert and your character is basically a loner trying to find his way. Then he eventually runs into a sky pirate who has an animal companion and an airship. Kind of like Han Solo and Chewie with the Millennium Falcon. I was recently watching H.C. Bailey's Chrono Trigger Let's Play, so I kind of got the Millennial Fair in my mind. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of why. People think it's too much of a ripoff of Star Wars. Now, one thing I know is that the creators of Final Fantasy are also really big fans of Star Wars, which is evidenced in the reoccurring characters Biggs and Wedge. Well, yeah, the Final Fantasy, I do fully agree in that the franchise has gone a little downhill in terms of charm and appeal. But, what can you do? Hopefully Final Fantasy 13, when it comes out, will be the series that revives it. A few of my friends actually think it's going to be the new Final Fantasy VII or even Final Fantasy VI in regard of its epicness. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. Basically, yeah. Honest truth, ever since Final Fantasy VIII, the series has started going downhill. I didn't really care much for Final Fantasy IX. Not saying it sucked. I liked it. It's just it had qualities about it that I just didn't really care for. I do, however, like how it went back to its roots. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but what can you do? Me personally, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy. I think 12 is good, but no, it's not the greatest, not by any margin. If I had to say the greatest Final Fantasy out there, I would have to say Final Fantasy 11 due to its league of its own. But since it's also online, it's sort of not in the running. So I would go with Final Fantasy 6, my all-time champion. But yeah, then again, I'm a fan of the old school Final Fantasies. 7 is great. It's my second favorite in terms of the non-online ones. Uh, I mostly, yeah, the series has always been awesome for me, and well, I guess now I'm just rambling, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it here. Thanks for hearing me out, guys. If you want, make a video on your opinions or comment below. Doesn't really matter to me. Also, I'm sorry I'm not using my webcam. It's kind of shoddy and crappy, so I figure doing it this way might be a little easier and just put little messages up on the text there or something. Anyway, this has been White Mage Serenia signing off of my discussion on Final Fantasy. Tune in tomorrow when I hopefully get back to my Let's Plays in full swing again, and have a nice day, everyone. Take care.